Channel 11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
Bands of snow that moved through. This is a look at your PPG Paints Arena earlier, and you can see some of those big flakes falling around the Mario Lemieux statue. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lesh. Bundle up. We had wind chills in the single digits this morning. Let's get right to meteorologist Jessica Faith tracking the changes in Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, and where they are right now is pretty much where they're going to stay. It's going to feel like we're in the teens, and just like Gordon said, even single digits, especially after sunset. Right now it feels like 10 degrees in Pittsburgh, and that same wind that is making it feel a lot colder is pushing off of Lake Erie, coming in from the northwest, giving us that moisture to support some scattered snow showers that we see right now. That chance continues even as we go further into the afternoon and evening hours. Little to no effect is expected, but still watch out for some icy and slick spots on the roads, and that falling snow could reduce visibility. Around 3-mile visibility right now in Pittsburgh. And we're going to show you your snow chance for the rest of the day and talk about snow potential for tomorrow. Coming up later into the newscast, I'm going to talk about the big system that will impact part of your weekend. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Jessica. An alarming new report just out from the Allegheny County Health Department reporting 135 new deaths. Now, this is not a one-day total. Health officials say there was a backlog at the state level, resulting in the deaths just being reported in this daily update. Even with the backlog, only 4 of those deaths were from the last month. The county has also learned of 358 new COVID cases. The numbers show just how important it is to get a COVID vaccine, but as we've been showing you, it's been a challenge. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond spoke with one woman who tried for weeks before finally getting an appointment.
Frustrated. That's the word I keep hearing people use to describe the process of trying to get an appointment for a COVID-19 vaccine for their parents and their grandparents. One woman we spoke to told us that she spent more than 30 hours on the computer for her mother.
One day I waited in line on a site for 3.5 hours, and there were 10 or 12,000 people ahead of me.
Like so many people in Pennsylvania, Kathy Jo Pollock is frustrated. Her mom is 86 years old. Kathy says she spent the last 2 weeks constantly trying to get her mom an appointment for a COVID-19 vaccine. She called hospitals, doctors' offices, pharmacies, spent hours on the internet. Finally, she secured one 2 hours away, and she took it.
And I think I'm relatively computer savvy. I feel badly, very, very badly for our elderly who are not. So you have to log on. There's a lot of detailed reading and steps that you have to follow. And you click on so many different things, a map with red dots, green dots to enlarge, and very, very cumbersome.
Just yesterday, Dr. Deborah Bogan admitted that the process is frustrating and confusing, and they're working on a better process. Tonight at 5, find out what they're working on, plus what's working a little bit better in some other states. Reporting on the North Shore, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
Community College of Beaver County has turned into a mass vaccination site. Heritage Valley is using the Dome for its first wave of vaccinations. You must have an appointment to get a shot, and 21,000 spots were quickly filled. Heritage Valley says it's going to be opening up appointments for February soon, and they're just waiting on more doses. The Biden administration says it's pulling out all the stops to get vaccines into more people's arms, but it may still be months, not weeks, before the general public has access to the shots. NBC's Tom Costello has more.
Yeah, good day from Washington. First, the good news. The number of new cases nationwide is dropping, down more than 30% in the weeks after the holidays. But the number of deaths lags the number of new cases, and that's the grim milestone that we're talking about. The country's death toll expected to cross the 500,000 mark within the next 3 weeks. Nationwide, states continue to report they simply don't have the vaccine doses to keep up with demand. The CDC reports just over 1 million people a day are now getting vaccinated. The Biden administration is promising to increase that over the coming weeks. And now FEMA is asking for 10,000 military personnel to help in the fight. They would be deployed at 100 mass vaccination sites nationwide. Meanwhile, that UK variant of the virus has now been detected in 28 states. Dr. Fauci reiterating that the existing vaccines do appear to be effective against the new UK and South African strains of the virus, but work is already underway on booster shots that would increase protection against those strains. Meanwhile, we do expect to hear more today from Dr. Fauci. I'm Tom Costello in Washington. Back to you.
The Biden administration says all options are on the table for manufacturing more vaccine, including possible use of the Defense Production Act to force companies to produce a competitor's vaccine. WPXI.com has an entire section dedicated to the vaccine. You can find information on clinic locations, how to register, and how to see if you're eligible to get the shot. Breaking at noon in the last hour, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf laid out his priorities for this year and said his top priority is getting Pennsylvania back on track after the pandemic.
We can now see the light at the end of the pandemic tunnel, and I want to make sure that we're ready and able to get back on track quickly.
The governor wants the General Assembly to set aside $145 million for struggling businesses. Other top priorities include legalizing recreational marijuana for adults and what he calls changing Harrisburg to demand accountability, which would include a gift ban for all state elected officials and new campaign finance laws. We're continuing to go through the governor's plan and look at what it means for all of us, and we're working on that for Channel 11 News at 5. Breaking news on a shooting at the Monroeville Mall. Some charges have been dropped against the shooter. Brandon Knoll entered a plea deal in November to aggravated assault, and in the past hour, investigators say a judge ordered Knoll to serve 2.5 to 5 years in a state penitentiary. Under the plea deal, all other charges, including attempted homicide, were dropped. Knoll fired shots inside the mall back in April of 2019 after a fight broke out between two groups. No one was hit. More details now. In February of 2015, 3 people were shot inside the Monroeville Mall Macy's store. Police reopened a substation in the mall after that. And back in October, a man was shot and killed in the parking lot of the mall. Police say Lawrence Murphy gunned down Sahid Gale after they got into an argument.
This has been hard and things have changed, and it's like none of these decisions are easy.
Pittsburgh students will learn from home for another 2 months. Last night, the school board voted to push back the return to in-person learning to April 6th. The move affects more than 20,000 kids, their families, and hundreds of school employees. The board also voted to switch up how students are grouped and put an end to the learning cohorts the district had previously established. The district will now have to figure out which students have the greatest need for in-person learning when they do return. Administrators acknowledge the fact that a lot of students are struggling with e-learning. One of the main reasons the board once again voted to push back the return to classrooms is to give teachers and bus drivers a chance to get vaccinated.
The reality is today, we don't have the ability to get our teachers vaccinated and our other staff members.
This decision today will place a burden on them. And that's a burden that doesn't sit well with me.
No word yet on when teachers will be able to get vaccinated. They are in the state's 1B category. The district is working on a plan with UPMC, so they're ready when teachers get the green light. Pittsburgh's big St. Patrick's Day parade has been postponed. It's another big hit to Pittsburgh's economy, but it is no surprise. Last year, it was one of the first big events to be canceled by coronavirus. Channel 11's Mike Holden spoke with organizers.
Doors like this one in the South Side will remain locked and closed for the 2nd year in a row. That's because parade officials say it's just not safe to host all of the people right here in one spot. They say it boils down to the safety and well-being of everyone as the pandemic continues to drag out. Normally, hundreds of thousands of people sporting a whole lot of green line the parade route to celebrate St. Patrick's Day here in Pittsburgh. However, one of the biggest party days of the year is being put on pause again. City leaders in the parade committee made it official, postponing 2021 festivities, at least for now. They cited the ongoing pandemic and continued health concerns surrounding large gatherings. The event was originally set for March 13th. In the weeks ahead, the streets will remain eerily empty. Last year, city and parade officials were forced to cancel the parade just days before the event as the virus just started to spread here in the Commonwealth. Local residents and business owners say there is certainly a ripple effect to the latest postponement. But with coronavirus cases still on the rise and a shortage of vaccines, it's the reality of the situation, and it is what it is.
It's not the safe option. It's not the safe thing to do. And our at the forefront of all of our decisions as a parade committee are the safety and the health and the well-being, not only of our parade participants. I mean, we have about 20,000 people that actively participate.
And the event committee is now working hand in hand with the city to try to come up with a new date, potentially in the latter half of 2021, as long as it's safe, so we'll keep a close eye. In the meantime, we talked about the ripple effect. We're now checking in with Southside businesses about the impact this will have on them and how they're faring during this difficult time for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting from the Southside, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
There is nothing left of a home in Westmoreland County. These pictures from the Lloydsville Fire Department tell the story. A fire broke out at the home on Pizza Barn Road in Derry Township just before 3 this morning. At least 2 people got out of the house in time. Only the shell of the home was left standing. We're working to learn more about another fire in Hampton Township. This forced a family out into the cold, but fortunately they are all okay. The fire went to 3 alarms, so that's why there were so many fire engines on Hidden Pond Drive. People inside an apartment building in East Liberty were carefully taken to safety this morning after police say a man barricaded himself inside with a gun. We found police vehicles all over East Liberty, the standoff on Collins Avenue. That's where police say they were met with a man who threatened to shoot them if they got any closer. And he ran inside that apartment building. They say he would not come out until he was forced out by gas. Police are still searching for a murder suspect accused in 2 shootings in Washington County. Police found the accused killer's stolen car, but right now he is still on the run. Police say Zach Sadler shot and killed Darnell Brown Tuesday in the city of Washington. This was the scene outside the Family Dollar store where it happened. Officers tell us Brown was dating Sadler's ex, and the shooting happened in front of her and her children. About 30 minutes later, police in nearby Denora say Sadler shot another man in the leg inside the house of another ex-girlfriend. That man is expected to be okay. A former high school football coach is now charged with selling cocaine. Investigators tell us Brandon Pizzell Sr. was also attending a local police academy, but he used to coach football at Taylor Alderdice High School. According to court paperwork, he was selling cocaine out of his home while attending the Allegheny County Police Academy. Pizzell was never an employee of the county. He was in the academy to get his law enforcement certification.
I wore my mask around my immediate family. Would my dad still be here?
She believes she spread COVID to her father, and he did not make it. Her story of guilt and survival.
They sent you the link, and then you got online and just picked your place and your time, and it was pretty easy.
Well, it seems next to impossible to get an appointment for a COVID vaccine here, but not across the state line in West Virginia. The reason it's as simple as making an appointment for a haircut. Plus, where vaccine chasers are waiting in line hoping to get leftover doses.
We have scattered snow showers across the area and very cold temperatures. I have a look at your wind chill forecast for today, and that's coming up after the break.
Some are calling them vaccine chasers, people who line up at COVID-19 vaccine sites for hours in the hopes of getting access to leftover vaccines that could otherwise end up in the trash. One California site that administers about 1,200 doses a day says it averages about 20 extra doses per week. Dozens of people spend hours waiting to see if they can get any of that leftover vaccine. None are eligible under local vaccine guidelines, but all are hoping there is leftover vaccine to get inoculated.
I'm really glad they're prioritizing older people right now, but if there's any chance I can get it, it's totally worth staying in line for all day.
I'm not taking a vaccine away from anybody. It's just extra that will be left over.
We've heard about this happening in other states. Health officials advise against people showing up to sites and expecting to get any leftovers. West Virginia stands out from the crowd when it comes to the vaccine rollout. People there say they have no issue making an appointment. Granted, they have a much smaller population than Pennsylvania, but CNN's Miguel Marquez found out there is one thing the state did that might be making a bigger difference.
All right, if you just want to relax your arm just like that.
One shot, one arm at a time.
You're welcome.
Today, a hospice nurse.
How difficult was it to schedule this?
It wasn't hard at all. They sent you the link and then you got online and just picked your place and your time, and it was pretty easy.
A parole officer.
I would have gone to the end of the earth to get the vaccine. Right, but it was 10 minutes down the road. Right, 10 minutes.
And a registered nurse, all in a state showing some of the best results nationwide in getting vaccines from manufacturers into arms.
There were so many other places in West Virginia providing it. We could choose.
Their vaccination destination, Canova, West Virginia's local pharmacy, Griffith & Fowle Drug, around since before the last pandemic in 1918.
How important is it to use places like this to distribute vaccines?
It's been a benefit because we had an existing relationship. A lot of the times, most of the local pharmacies already worked with the long-term care facilities.
West Virginia, which opted out of the federal government's distribution program, was the first state to administer shots to all residents and staff in all long-term care facilities statewide. Pharmacies like Griffith & Fowle, a sort of unofficial community center, use local knowledge to get shots into arms. So far, they say, they've not wasted a single dose.
I've even driven to a patient's home just to give them a dose because it was going to go to waste. She was 99 years old. Her daughter said she's ready to go, so I hopped in my truck, drove across town, and gave it to her in her house.
This decentralized system of vaccination in locations, both small and large, along with highly organized distribution, has proved an overwhelming success.
What is the most important number for you guys?
The most important number is that administration rate. So how many shots are we getting in each week? How many are going into arms?
And what is that percentage right now? What's that number?
Right now, it's at 95% today.
95%.
It starts over every week for us.
In what was a National Guard gym, the state is coordinating a sort of Amazon-like distribution system. Every week, vaccines delivered to 5 hubs, then distributed by the National Guard throughout the Mountain State.
Right now, we receive a little over 23,000 vaccines a week. We want to build a capacity that we can receive and vaccinate people over 100,000 per week.
He says they're ready to ramp up now. They only need more vaccine, lots of it.
If truly today we had an unlimited supply of vaccine, I will promise you beyond any doubt whatsoever, every single person in the third oldest state with the most chronic illnesses that are 65 and above in West Virginia, all of them would have the vaccine in their arms by the 14th of February.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
You have scattered snow showers across the area, and they are on the move. So if you see them right now, may not be seeing them in the next hour because they are pushing farther toward the south. These showers are pushing off of the Great Lakes, getting that northwestern flow from the Great Lakes, pushing in that moisture, and also our atmosphere is very cold. So that's where those snow showers are coming from. And we're going to continue on with that chance today. Now, I think the models have been a little conservative. I think we'll see more than what we see right now. Know that the scattered snow showers we see, that will continue to flow through our area. Even around 5 o'clock, could deal with it for your evening commute, even if you're out later this evening and tonight. We'll have a few snow showers throughout the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning. So if you have an early start, just know that they could be in the area kind of in and out throughout the day. Could even have a few peaks of sunshine farther off toward the south, but for the most part, expect thick cloud cover with an isolated chance, very small chance for some scattered snow showers or even flurries throughout the day on Friday. And as we trend into our go towards Saturday, we're actually looking pretty good, looking quiet. But today, again, that small chance for a snow shower here and there. Also a big chance for very cold air to be in place. So we're looking very cold. Air temperatures you'll see will be in the 20s, around 24 degrees later this afternoon. It won't feel like it. It's going to feel very cold, which is really the main story for today. Yeah, we have those snow showers. Again, little to no impact as you head out and about throughout the day, but wind chill values will be between 10 to 15 degrees. So it's going to feel very cold as we go throughout the rest of your day. Even past sunset, we're going to feel even colder. And I think these temperatures could be dwindled down a bit. I think around even 8 o'clock, we can see many folks across the area in the single-digit wind chill value. So again, if you're headed out later today, you're going to need all of the layers: the coat, the gloves, the scarf, the hat. Put it all on, and it's going to be cold even going into tomorrow. Expecting a very similar scenario with the cold wind chill values, the very cold temperatures, the scattered snow showers and flurries. Very cold start to the day with temperatures starting out in the teens, but again, factor in the wind is going to feel a lot colder. Stick around for the next half hour because I'm really going to dissect and let you know what we expect for Sunday into Monday. Could be a very rough go if you have plans, if you're expected to go outside Sunday and Monday. We are looking at our next shot for accumulating snow. Again, the start of next week, and could even see a wintry mix, especially farther toward the south where we could see some even rain, and that could also make for some very messy conditions. And also, again, Monday looking like a pretty good snow chance with temperatures near freezing.
I'm deeply honored. I don't know how else better to say it.
Beaver County man left speechless. The special honor he was given that will put him at center stage at the Super Bowl. But first, hundreds of doses of COVID vaccines are missing in Philadelphia. How a volunteer group lost them. The hearing for a Brentwood restaurant fighting to reopen is back underway. Today, the director of the Allegheny County Health Department plans to testify about the Cracked Egg restaurant. It was shut down for not following COVID-19 rules. During an opening statement, the attorney for the Cracked Egg said there is no proof the governor's COVID orders are effective. A county health official later testified restaurants without mask requirements absolutely pose a risk to the community. Nearly 200 doses of a COVID vaccine are missing in Philadelphia. They were given to a volunteer group. Philly Fighting COVID was given around 7,000 vaccines by the city. But the city cut ties after concerns over data privacy and its new for-profit status.
In retrospect, we should have been more careful with this organization. I hope people, though, try to understand that at the time we had a fairly large number of doses that arrived at once. We had a lot of people we wanted to vaccinate quickly. And here we had an organization that we had worked with.
Philly Fighting COVID is mostly college students that formed last year in 3D printed PPE for essential workers.
I wore my mask around my immediate family. Would my dad still be here?
She spread COVID to her father, and he did not make it. Her story of guilt and survival.
We do have a few snow showers right now across the area, but we're expected to see much more at the start of next week. I'm going to break down the details coming up in our next half hour of news.
Wind chills in the teens with on and off flurries today. Meteorologist Jessica Faith here now with the chilly forecast at Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, and they've been on and off here in Pittsburgh. Now on the tower cam, I'm seeing some flurries come and go. Really not too much action behind me right now. 23 the air temperature, wind chill 11. If you're looking for some snow, there are plenty of areas to find them right now. We're going to keep that going as we go throughout the rest of your Thursday with the scattered snow flurries today. That also pours into tomorrow's single-digit wind chill values after sunset. Also for Friday, looking very, very cold. Now, coming up in just a few minutes, I want to really focus on this weekend, the start of next week. That's when we could really see some accumulating snow. I'm going to break down the details of what we know coming up again in just a few minutes.
My dad first thought it was political, okay, like a lot of people thought. And once the election was over, things will go back to normal.
But they didn't go back to normal, and this woman's father ended up catching the virus, and he did not make it. It turns out his daughter was asymptomatic and likely spread it to him and to other family members. Channel 11's Amy Hudak shares her story of guilt and survival.
I always think in my head, if I wore my mask around my immediate family, would my dad still be here?
Margie McClintock's beloved dad, Anthony Yetzi, lost his battle with COVID-19 earlier this month.
He loved people. He loved talking to people. He loved his 2 cats. I mean, that was his life, us 3 girls.
Margie and her sisters are now without their dad, and Margie wonders, what if?
You don't know you have the symptoms. That's what people don't know.
On a Monday in December, she went to visit her dad and the friend who lives with him. And by Wednesday,
I started getting the chills, the fever, the sweats, the temperature.
By Saturday, she was hospitalized and eventually admitted to the ICU on a cocktail of medication. Within days, she got a new neighbor in the ICU at Forbes, her dad.
I was in one room, ICU room, and he was in this room. We couldn't see each other, but we knew we were both there. We were told by the doctors that there was nothing they could do. Basically, his lungs were filled, like if you would think cancer or something. It was filled, and there was no hope.
Anthony Yetzi did not survive. Margie, her husband, her dad, and her dad's friend all ended up with COVID-19. Margie is still fighting.
I am very lucky to survive this because my chest x-ray was really bad. And I do feel guilty, but then I'm trying to think of other ways to help people as well and not to go through what I did.
She doesn't want another child or family to say, what if? What if they had worn a mask around their loved ones? Would the outcome be any different? Amy Hudak, Channel 11 News.
Such a terrible situation. Margie was put on remdesivir and in the ER, I should say, and was also given plasma in the ER. She encourages fellow COVID-19 survivors to donate plasma. One donation can help 4 people. Well, help could soon be on the way for struggling Pennsylvanians. The state Senate unanimously passed a nearly $1 billion pandemic recovery aid bill. More than half of that money would go to help people struggling to pay rent or utility bills. Landlords and tenants would be eligible to apply. Priority would be given to lower income households and those where someone is unemployed. Other aid would go to bars, restaurants, hotels. Pennsylvania's Licensed Beverage and Tavern Association says they're pretty excited about the potential money, but also says it will only offer temporary relief because 30,000 businesses need help. Democrats in the state Senate are pushing to raise the minimum wage. Right now, it stands at $7.25, and they want to increase it to $12 this year and to $15 by 2027. Channel 11's Jillian Hartman spoke with service industry workers about how this might impact them.
Well, there's a new push to raise the minimum wage in Pennsylvania, but a bartender here at Nadine's Diner in Southside tells me why it could hurt and help her at the same time.
There's obviously a lot of pros and cons to the minimum wage being raised.
Kelsey Mead loves working at Nadine's Diner, but we did ask her how it's been during this pandemic.
A struggle. It is. You know, we took a big hit, but hopefully there's, light at the end of the tunnel.
More money may be on the way for those making minimum wage in Pennsylvania, which is currently $7.25 an hour, the same rate as the federal minimum.
Today marks 5,317 days since Pennsylvania's legislature last raised the minimum wage. That's more than 14 years, and it is far too long.
Democratic Senator Christine Tartaglione and House Representative Brendan Boyle announced new legislation, Senate Bill 12, to raise the state's minimum wage to $12 an hour this year and an additional 50 cents each year until it reaches $15.
Obviously, we'd be making more money, but that's going to affect everybody. You know, they're not going to be able to tip me as well because maybe they're out of a job.
Meade is concerned raising the rate will cause many folks to lose their jobs, but Senator Tartaglione says roughly 2 million Pennsylvanians would benefit, including people of color, parents, and women.
My legislation would enable many low-wage workers to leave that second and third job, spend more time with their children, go back to school, or learn a trade.
The new bill would also eliminate sub-minimum wage for tip earners, currently at $2.83 an hour, helping servers and bartenders, but costing small businesses more.
I'm going to have to pay more for milk. I'm going to have to pay more for gas. I'm going to have to pay more for my rent. It's going to hurt a lot of people.
On the federal level, President Joe Biden has called upon Congress to adopt a $15 minimum wage as part of his economic recovery plan. Now, Senator Tartaglione's office tells me she plans to introduce Senate Bill 12 very soon, and then it'll be referred to the Senate Labor and Industry Committee. Reporting in Southside, I'm Jillian Hartman, Channel 11 News.
There's also a push to raise the minimum wage at the federal level. House and Senate Democrats introduced a pair of bills aimed at raising the wages to $15 an hour by 2025. Republican Congressman Mike Kelly doesn't support it. He tweeted the bills would lead to fewer entry-level positions and hurt small businesses. Pittsburgh business owners say the city could benefit from the Biden administration's Buy American plan. This week, President Joe Biden signed an executive order strengthening government requirements to spend taxpayer money on American goods. And that could be good news for Pittsburgh's steel industry. U.S. Steel applauded the move, telling our partners at the Pittsburgh Business Times, in part, a strong domestic steel industry is at the foundation of America's economic and national security.
The elderly on my route, by me being on the route for so long, they're dear to my heart.
She doesn't just deliver the mail, she pays close attention to everyone on her route. The move she made that likely saved a woman's life. A mail carrier in Illinois hailed a hero. She was delivering mail recently when she noticed an older woman had not been picking up her mail. What she did next may have saved the woman's life. Reporter Natalie Martinez has the inspirational story.
Shonda Lemon is an 8-year veteran of the U.S. Postal Service and explains she's delivered mail for about 4 years in the Dunning neighborhood, knows many residents, and keeps an extra special eye on some.
The elderly on my route, by me being on the route for so long, they're dear to my heart.
When Shonda noticed her 89-year-old friend Helen was not picking up her special rubber band bundles for easy grabbing for 3 days, she began to worry and knocked on the door.
Day after day that she wasn't getting the mail with the rubber band, that's when I knew it was something wrong.
When no one responded, Shonda called 911 for a well-being check. Helen was found on the floor, no food or water. Her niece Mary got the call.
I feared the worst.
Helen was alive, but hurt and weak.
She fell, and she laid there.
My heart trembled. It just made me cry.
Mary believes had it not been for Shonda,
I don't think she would have lasted.
Mary felt she needed to meet the caring mail carrier.
I need to tell her thank you so much.
And tonight it happened on the quiet Normandy Avenue cul-de-sac.
Thank you, sweetheart.
No problem.
You're an angel. I love you so much.
I'm hugging her. You look just like her.
Shonda's being called a hero by coworkers and others, but laughs when we tell her.
I just look at myself as one of God's children, looking after his other kids. That was my blessing for the day, that she was okay.
Well, Helen is doing much better. She is in rehab, building up her strength, and is excited people are hearing about her guardian angel mail carrier. The majority of companies say working from home will stay well after the pandemic is over. Plus, the changes businesses are making to become pandemic-proof.
You're looking to get out this weekend? Well, I'll tell you which days will be quiet and when we could see snow once again.
Pittsburgh restaurants are getting a boost from DoorDash. The food delivery service plans to hand out $150,000 as part of its expanded COVID relief program. Local restaurants will be able to apply for $5,000 grants. The money must go toward offsetting costs associated with the pandemic. This is part of a nationwide program called Main Street Strong Pledge, and the deadline to apply is February 17th. Working from home may become the new normal. Only about 10% of companies expect all employees to return to their pre-pandemic work arrangements. The National Association for Business Economics says many companies are developing hybrid offerings, letting people work from home some days and in their offices on others. And the pandemic has changed what we look for in a living situation. Now developers, designers, and realtors are adapting for a new COVID-conscious era. NBC's Liz McLaughlin shows us the changes they're making to become pandemic-proof.
We all hear each other all the time.
Working and schooling from home is still an adjustment for many.
I attend Zoom University now.
Making open floor plan homes less desirable than they once were.
Having that ability to close a door is the utmost importance.
Realtors say the pandemic is changing priorities for buyers.
One is what outdoor spaces are they offering? What kind of COVID-conscious systems do they have in place in order to make me feel safe if it's a large condominium?
Some multifamily designers are starting to move away from co-working layouts, opting instead for pod-style features.
The major thing that we've been trying to implement in a lot of our upcoming projects are just creating private spaces.
Now, condo and apartment buildings are advertising touchless technology, such as voice-activated elevators and robots that can deliver goods, park cars, and sanitize spaces. This hospital-grade germ-zapping robot disinfects the Paramount luxury condo building at Miami World Center, a 27-acre mixed-use development, where developer Daniel Codsey will soon be breaking ground on a new project.
We, in essence, look at Legacy as becoming pandemic-proof.
Legacy is designed to include a hotel, residential units, and medical facilities, all under one roof.
This is an area where you can possibly shelter in place because you have a medical center, you have a pharmacy. You'd have the opportunity to do testing right there on site.
A glimpse into the future, where COVID changes may dictate designs, even after the pandemic is over. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
Massive swarms of cicadas are set to return to the East Coast this spring following a 17-year hibernation. The insects known as Brood 10 have been underground eating sap from plant roots since 2004. They're expected to start appearing in May in more than a dozen states from Georgia to New York. That includes Pennsylvania. The insects live for up to 4 weeks before their offspring head back underground for another 17 years.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Ready for that 17-year period to come. And maybe you're ready for the weekend. If you want to get outside, Saturday is your day. High pressure will really help us out to give you nice conditions during the day to get out and about. Still going to be on the cool side. Very cold right now in Pittsburgh and all across western PA, along with some scattered snow showers. A little effect for today, also a little impact tomorrow as we expect a few more snow showers and flurries to wrap up the rest of your work week. Now, the focus will really be on Sunday and also into Monday, where chances for impact due to snow grow as, again, we start next week. And this is all going to be due to a system that will be approaching from the west, sliding toward the east, giving precipitation for a good bit of the country. And as it moves toward the east, increasing our chances for snow, but also a wintry mix as well, and really pinpointing who and where we'll see that wintry mix and when will be key to who will get the highest accumulation. So as we go throughout the overnight hours, that will push in from the south toward the north. So here's 7 o'clock in the morning. Maybe you have an early start. Know that it'll be snowing, and also know that visibility could be greatly reduced as well. So we'll be dealing with the snow showers throughout the day, flowing in from the south, pushing toward the north. And the best chance to really see some snow will be off toward the north, especially when we factor in that chance for a wintry mix. Now, where and how far north this pushes will be key, again, to know who will get the highest snow amounts and the highest snow totals. I do think, though, that around 5 o'clock on Sunday, this will be farther toward the north, maybe around Washington and Uniontown. And this will be a forecast that we'll continue to fine-tune in the days ahead and really give you those specific numbers of how much snow from Sunday into Monday. And that chance does go into Monday. Monday looks like a snowier day than Sunday, where we could have a wintry mix, including some ice and even rain showers in the area during the afternoon hours. So even for your evening commute, could be dealing with a good bit of snow around the area. Now here is a look right now. Again, no specific numbers, but I do want to show you where we can see the lightest amounts. And the lightest amount is right where in that area where I pointed to a winter mix, including the rain and the ice and the sleet. Now, north of Pittsburgh, right around Butler toward the north, points toward the north, can see more moderate amount of snowfall. Then the highest amounts will be farther toward the east as that system continues to move. So that's what we're tracking right now. And again, if you have plans Sunday, and of course Monday is the start of the new work week, you're going to want to continue to check in the days ahead. We're going to continue to fine tune the forecast and give you any updates in the forecast as we look at that system that will affect us Sunday and Monday. But again, we'll have some flurries today and Friday, Saturday looking good. And we do actually warm up on Sunday into the upper 30s.
All right, thanks, Jessica. McDonald's is celebrating Throwback Thursdays with Throwback prices. The promotion is running every week through February 18th with prices harkening back to its founding in 1955. The deal will feature a different item each week. Today, it's a small milkshake for 25 cents. The offer is only valid through the McDonald's app, and it requires a minimum purchase of $1. Now, here's local steals and deals.
Hey, Lisa Robertson here with Local Steals and Deals. How would you like to have one of the most influential chemists in the beauty industry give you something no one else has? That's Beauty Stat, and Ron Robinson is the founder and the owner, and he's here with us. How you doing, Ron?
Hey, Lisa. So excited to be with you here today.
It is so good to have you here, and I know that you have been a mover and shaker in beauty for a long time, right?
That's right. I have been in the industry over 20 years. I've formulated and developed products for big brands like Clinique, Estee Lauder, Revlon, Avon, L'Oreal. But during that time, I've always been fascinated with the ingredient vitamin C. And so I created the company Beauty Stat with a mission to create the best vitamin C serum. Now, vitamin C is a great ingredient for the skin, there's no doubt, but it's notoriously unstable. We solved that problem. We have 3 patents on the ability to stabilize pure vitamin C. So in our Beauty Stat Universal C Skin Refiner, it stays pure and potent from the first drop to the last.
Wow. And if I'm sitting at home, very quickly, why is it important? What does it do for my skin when it's stable and when it's fresh?
Well, in our product, it's clinically tested and dermatologist approved to reduce the look of fine lines and wrinkles, firm and tighten skin, even out skin tone, and diminish the look of pores. It really does it all.
And very quickly, so who are some of the beauty magazines already talking about this?
Yeah, Lisa, just last week, we were so excited that Oprah Magazine named our product one of the best vitamin C serums. And Allure, Cosmo, Harper's Bazaar, Good Housekeeping, all of them have named it as one of the best. And so we're super excited to be able to bring it to consumers.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Lisa.
You can get these 3 amazing ideas at localsteals.com. The exciting thing is Ron is offering this at 50% off. Just go to localsteals.com and you get great beauty.
Things are a little safer at Pittsburgh International Airport after they captured and relocated a falcon that was interfering with flights. Airport workers teamed up with the Department of Agriculture to trap and move the falcon that was hanging out near the airfield. After the bird got a health check, it was released about 55 miles south of the airport. You can now buy stamps featuring one of Pittsburgh's most notable playwrights. August Wilson is featured on Forever Stamps, known as a trailblazer for American theater. You can buy them on the USPS website or at a post office. The Steelers obviously won't be playing the Super Bowl this year, but a local man will be there to take part in the fun. James Martin of Monaca has been chosen to serve as one of 3 honorary captains for the coin toss. During the pandemic, Martin has virtually connected 1,800 fellow veterans with their families through the Wounded Warrior Project. A Steelers Hall of Famer got to break the news to him.
We'd like to invite you to Super Bowl 55 as one of the NFL's honorary captains.
All of a sudden it said, whoop, and there he was. I was like, oh, I wasn't ready. And, you know, as a fan, as a, you know, Steelers fan an entire life, that's an incredible man to meet.
Pretty surprising when the bus shows up on your computer screen there. Super Bowl will be played 1 week from Sunday in Tampa. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
Channel 11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
Bands of snow that moved through. This is a look at your PPG Paints Arena earlier, and you can see some of those big flakes falling around the Mario Lemieux statue. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lesh. Bundle up. We had wind chills in the single digits this morning. Let's get right to meteorologist Jessica Faith tracking the changes in Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, and where they are right now is pretty much where they're going to stay. It's going to feel like we're in the teens, and just like Gordon said, even single digits, especially after sunset. Right now it feels like 10 degrees in Pittsburgh, and that same wind that is making it feel a lot colder is pushing off of Lake Erie, coming in from the northwest, giving us that moisture to support some scattered snow showers that we see right now. That chance continues even as we go further into the afternoon and evening hours. Little to no effect is expected, but still watch out for some icy and slick spots on the roads, and that falling snow could reduce visibility. Around 3-mile visibility right now in Pittsburgh. And we're going to show you your snow chance for the rest of the day and talk about snow potential for tomorrow. Coming up later into the newscast, I'm going to talk about the big system that will impact part of your weekend. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Jessica. An alarming new report just out from the Allegheny County Health Department reporting 135 new deaths. Now, this is not a one-day total. Health officials say there was a backlog at the state level, resulting in the deaths just being reported in this daily update. Even with the backlog, only 4 of those deaths were from the last month. The county has also learned of 358 new COVID cases. The numbers show just how important it is to get a COVID vaccine, but as we've been showing you, it's been a challenge. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond spoke with one woman who